Okay, right, I'm going to share again. Can you see my screen? Yeah, cool. Right, okay. So version control is important, especially when you've got requirements documents and you've got documents that decisions are going to be made from. Another one I've learned to say is say no. Because actually, and I guess those of us who've worked in PMOs and Colin, I know you're a program manager and George, you're a program manager. Sometimes when you're trying to get information from your project managers and program managers to put into the reports to send on up, and you give them deadlines and they've missed it because they want X, Y, and Z. I've learned actually I can't stop saying, okay, you've got another day or whatever. At some point you have to say, right, enough is enough. We are going to use the information you've given me now, and then anything can be updated verbally in the meeting, because otherwise you start to just add more and more work onto yourself or your team going forward, because you're always doing that last minute changes, which means then all the analysis you need to do changes because your base information changes. So there is nothing wrong with saying no as long as there's a reason behind it. Another one of my lessons is be pragmatic. At the end of the day, we are delivering change. And I can remember working on Verdi in Lloyd's, and we were going live that weekend, and I was being chased because one of my documents hadn't been signed off completely. We'd got the one signature signed off, but we hadn't got the others in place. And I said, look, the head director has signed it off. He's happy with the go live thing. This wasn't the go live document. This was one of the other documents that we had to do. I said, I'm not going to do that today. We have got verbal agreement from everybody. We just haven't had the signatures on that piece of paper. That is not the most important thing, to be chasing. At the end of the day, you've got to remember what it is you're there to do. And actually, we are going live this weekend, and going live this weekend is more important than me running around trying to get a signature on a document that should have been signed off 2 weeks ago. So again, understand what it is to be done. And actually, if someone comes to me and goes, Sian, got X, Y, and Z to do, but for me, this is the most important thing. Do you mind if I don't have that done by X, because, and if that's the reason why, and they've explained why, and you say, and you're comfortable with it, fine. I don't need you to, to go and do X, Y, and Z when this is the important thing that needs to be done this particular moment in time. There you can be flexible, you can be pragmatic. Another one lessons learned is try to become a trusted partner. If people trust you, sort of thing, and then actually you start to have conversations, with somebody you trust, that those conversations, especially if you've got something and saying, I don't quite think this is right, I think that you might be red rather than amber, you've built up that trust, because of your past experiences, and so you can then get your point across much more succinctly. And again, in NATS, what I did then was we for all my PMO managers, we had them aligned with each of the programs of work. So they worked alongside the program directors and the program managers. So they were seen as part of that management of that program and a trusted partner in that program. So if they said, actually, Dave, I don't think this is right because of A, B, and C, it's not going to be, don't be silly. It'd be, okay, talk me through it. What do you think? Yeah. So if you can work and get that trusted partnership with your portfolio program or project managers, then your views are going to get heard a lot more easily than they would otherwise, But I have to admit, I have also done, no, I am not, I'm putting this red. And this is the reasons why, but that's the exception rather than rule. The whole point should be you should have that conversation and come to, the agreement together. And then finally, one of my lessons learned is you need to build the quality in, and again, people think, oh, it's time and effort, but if you've got to write a document, say your business case or your project management plan or whatever, Build it in from the start. Who's going to review it? Who's going to sign it off? Yeah, sort of thing, and build that in. Build in time so that people can do that, give the feedback, put it back into your document so you can sign off. So when you're building your project management plan, or your schedule, you can say, well, actually, I will have a fully signed off document by here, but you've already put in the work that needs to be done for get the reviews, and especially again, I refer back to Nats, we did that, and especially with the very technical plans we built in peer reviews, we built in value management reviews so that we could actually have somebody else from outside would come in and look at that document. So they're looking at that completely fresh with a clean pair of eyes who can then say what it is, because actually, we've all done it. When you're too close, you don't see sometimes the wood for the trees. So try to build that quality in. And one of the things in a PMO's armory is a quality log, sort of thing. And I know everyone goes, oh, I don't really want to do one, but actually it is worth its weight in gold, because if you do that right, you've got your audit trail all the way through. Who's written it, who's reviewed it, who signed it off, and there's your audit trail already there for you. And then that helps with your version control, that helps with getting things right. So it's getting the basics in place, and then you can take it from there. I'm whizzing through these because I'm conscious I've only got 10 minutes, but if anyone got any questions or anything, please put it in the chat. Okay, so insights, stay current. We all know that the speed at which new technology is coming along, new developments, new ways of working are coming along. Agile now, sort of thing is the buzzword, but I have to admit I haven't yet seen a place where it's done correctly. Everyone uses parts of Agile, but sort of thing. So it's understanding the new ways of working, understanding new technology, because especially within the PMO, especially from a tooling perspective, it might be something you can then help your organization with. You can help start to move that new way of working into the business. What's always also helped me is, because I am that old, I started so long ago, before PMO became a discipline, and now you've got all the tools or whatever, is if you don't know what you're doing, go back to first principles. What is it we are trying to do? Yeah, because I think sometimes with all the new technology and all the new tools, we follow a process. Okay, I've got to do X, Y, and Z, but we don't sometimes understand why we're doing it. So actually, take a step back and go, actually, what is it we are trying to achieve? Okay, I want to deliver this piece of change into there. Okay, what is it? Right, okay, I need to put a plan together. I need to understand, okay, I need to understand what my resource requirements are, my skill sets are. Okay, also then, who are the impacted users? Right, okay, what do we need to do to understand that? So, build the picture up from your understanding of it so that you can say, actually, in this particular case, we don't need to do that particular, that particular, and that particular, because it's got no engineering in the thing, or it's got none of, we don't need to do testing because it's actually a manual process. So things like that. So be aware of first principles as in the back of your mind as you're trying to understand what that change is. Also, what I found has worked really well, is you're fostering a continuous improvement culture. You don't have to get it right first time. Yeah. Get the basics in, get the things working right, and then you can build on that. So for your team, make sure that they're trained, or coached, they're trained, they know what's coming down the line. Also for your project managers, but also, okay, well, we're not really doing our change control process as well as we'd like to because of new technology or this new tool. We can bring something in that will help take some of the drudgery out of the people who are doing it. So it's always trying to have, okay, we need to change this. And at Nats, because I had a large team and I had 8 project managers, I appointed PMO champions. So I had somebody who was looking after risk, who would make sure that our risk processes were always being improved. I had somebody looking after change control. I had somebody looking after communication, so that they were always improving what we currently had, so that we were thinking about the what our end user, our project and program managers, to make it easier for them. Is our reporting good enough? Do we still need everything we need? Actually, what can we automate? So it's making sure that you're always thinking, what can we improve? If you're setting up a PMO for the first time, or going into a company to set one up, act as if it's a project. You need to understand, you wouldn't start a project without understanding your scope, what you're trying to deliver, and various timescales. It's exactly the same if you're setting a PMO. You need your mission statement, your vision statement, your charter, because you need to get that buy-in. You need to have a business case because you need to understand what your return on investment is going to be, so that you can start to, as part of the reporting up to the exec, you can say, actually, our value to the company is this, sort of thing. So think in that way rather than going, where do I start? That is your starting point, and then you can start to define your services. Then you can start to decide what you want. And I just had a rolling 18-month plan of all the things that I would be bringing in, and then I would report that up against the cost and the value delivered. Trust your team. I found that you can't do everything yourself, especially when you've got a larger PMO, and you need to trust your team and know that they're good, and if and put some training into place if you don't have it. But they're experts. They know what they're doing, sort of thing. Trust them to do that. And also what I found has been really useful is ask them for help, and what I found, especially I had a tricky ask from the exec or whatever. We have a team meeting and I go, what do you think about this? These are my thoughts. But then we'd open it up to the team, and I'd get back, better suggestions than I'd come up with, because, we're only human. We're not all omnipotent, sort of thing. So actually other people have better suggestions. So I found just talking to people and coming up with that, talking and collaboration, we would come up with a better solution than if just one person come up with something, because it was better agreed as a team. And because we agreed it on as a team, it was owned by the team and taken forward by the team. So never be afraid to ask for help from your team. And then I think I mentioned at the beginning of the thing, one size does not fit all. You can have a portfolio of, I don't know, 40, 50 pieces of change. Some can be been doing agile, others can be waterfall, bit large programs, small programs. It doesn't matter, as long as you understand what it is you need to get out of it, and then how you are going to take all that information and how you are going to put it together to provide the overall picture. So, again, it's being pragmatic, it's being understanding of what you need to do, and saying, actually, this small piece of work does not need to jump through hoops A, B, and C. Actually, for the size and complexity and for the risk exposure of that, I only need to see you here and here. Yeah, I don't need to see you on every gate, and sort of thing. So it's just agreeing a governance plan up front, getting it agreed by all the concerned parties, and then sticking to it. If things change, you can always go back, revisit, and revise, and get agreement again. So it's that pragmatism. It's understanding that not everyone has to follow the same process all the way through. You agree up front what is the best for each of those ways forward. Okay, I think that's the final slide. As I think I'd mentioned at the beginning, I've started up my own coaching business and training business. So I'm called the PMO Coach, and I've now a qualified PMO Global Institute certified instructor. The PMO Global Institute are the only agency that offers PMO global certifications. For project management and program management, you've got Prince, you've got PMBOK, you've got PMI, you've got MSP. There's a whole load of things for project and program management. There aren't that many training courses for PMO in order to get the certified certificates that are recognized across the world. So I can now train 2 of their programs, and I'll come on to that in a minute. However, that's only one part of what I can do. I'm setting up a membership site, and actually we're going to put all this training video and the slides up onto that membership site hopefully by the end of this week. As everyone who knows me knows, I'm not very good at tech, so I'm still testing that out, but I think we're getting there. I'm going to create a library of online courses for PMs and PMO professionals within that membership site, so people can go and have a look and go, do you know what? I don't really understand planning. I don't really understand milestones. Oh, there's a course on what milestones are, sort of thing. So we can do it from basics all the way up through to risk management at portfolio level, burn down charts, etc. So that's the idea. There's going to be a library of courses available for people to help them in their career. That's for individuals, and then also for individuals, I can offer coaching, project management or PMO coaching, depending on requirements. For businesses, I can provide bespoke training and consultancy services. Further down the line, we're looking at a planning academy and PMO as a service, but those services are not available at the moment. Okay, so I think I've talked through this. Basically, the certified courses I can offer. So basically there's two. There's one. There's the certified associate with PMO, which is your basics. What is a PMO and how do you go about setting it up in context of everything else? And then you've got your certified baseline PMO, which is then understanding each step within a framework of how you actually set up a PMO. Okay, again, I think I've spoken about all of that. I'm not going to go through that again. And then obviously, I've got some offers running at the moment. So I've got some initial course dates to run. Oh, sorry, I've just noticed some things in the chat. I'll come to it in a minute, sort of thing. So we've got some dates on March the 8th and 9th, April the 12th, 13th, April the 26th and 27th, and May the 31st, June the 1st for the CA, which is it's an 8-hour training course. So it's 4 hours per day. And then for the CBPMO, which is 21 hours, which we run over 4 days or 3 days. I've got special offers on there. And also I've also got an offer on at the moment because I am still starting out. If you want a coaching session with me, just please book a session with me afterwards. And I think that is it. And I'm just about on time. So I can't see that. I'm going to stop sharing so I can see the comments. Does anyone have any questions? Oh,
not a question, but just really insightful, Sian. Thank you for sharing your lessons learned and the issues and challenges you faced along the way. I think we've all faced that in our careers. It's nice to know we're not alone.
No, and Georgia, it's the same things in the same, different organizations. But it's you're still relatively new into your career at the moment. But what you learn now will stand you in such good stead for going forward, because you still have the awkward people you've got to deal with, and it's understanding people and how you deal with people, because you will deal with people differently depending on the type of person they are.
No, definitely. And I loved your analogy of the policeman. I use referee in my
Yeah,
team
yeah.
quite
Actually,
often.
that's probably better. Yeah, sort of thing. But yeah, it shouldn't be seen. PMOs, it should not be seen as people stopping you. It should be going, but guiding you that you're doing things in the right direction. We should be there to help, not hinder.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Jim, you had a question? Question if I what skills have you for each of the roles you get? Okay, yes. So I am trying to pull that together. Is Jim gone?
I think he had to drop.
Yeah, and I think, look, Colin has as well. But yeah, okay, I will definitely answer that question, because as part of the membership site I'm pulling together, we will have all that information. Can we capture that, please, Jennifer? We'll answer that question. Christine, do you have any questions?
No, really useful. Going back to basics is always a good one as well. Going back to
yeah,
first principles and remembering what you learned in the early days, because it's easy to forget those
yeah.
as you move around and go to different places. So
Yeah, because I think, technology is great and the new tools are great and it makes the drudgery, but you sometimes step away, isn't it, from what is it we're trying to do? I think if you're taught that without actually thinking that through, you don't understand the reason why you're doing some things.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
been really useful as a reminder as well.
Good. Okay. Well, as I said, we'll send a link out after this to people who thank you for attending, and I'll also put the link to the membership site that I'm creating. And then if you do want to just have a free coaching session with me, whatever, drop me a note and we can get some time in the diary.
Really great.
Okay. Oh well, we're only a few minutes over. Thank you ever so much, everyone.
Thanks,
Cheers.
everyone.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.